I'm Angela Brown, and I'm here with Gavin Ashley, who is an intuitive healer. Now, we have not had an intuitive healer on this show before. And the reason I was really excited about having this conversation today is because many of you guys contact me and you want to know, why am I paralyzed? Why do I feel stuck when it comes to cluttering and cleaning out and clearing my home? Why do I feel stuck when I go into a room that's either my scary room or my scary closet or my attic or my garage, and I don't know where to start? Why do I feel stuck when I look at things that I've been hanging on to for 30, 40, 50 years and I'm unable to process it and get rid of it, even though I haven't used it in many years? And so, with Gavin's help today, he's going to explain to us what intuitive healing is and how we can learn to recognize some of the different facets of our own personalities that are causing those blockages. So, please help me welcome Gavin Ashley. How are
Uh,
you today?
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
So, if we have a cluttered life and we don't know where to start, what would you recommend as a launch pad?
One thing that I have recommended to a lot of my clients is about writing things down. It's really important to get the information out somehow. So, of course, if people are working with me, I have some more advanced processes where we can help with the clutter. But let's just say if you want to do a quick exercise, you want to write things down, you want to talk about your feelings in paper. And the reason why that's important is because it's all in your head, right? And it's creating space, it's using up space essentially, right? So that's a good place to start. And then, of course, that's also how you can organize your thoughts better, right? So if you're trying to get things done, if you're trying to accomplish things, maybe you want to set goals for the week. I'm not a big proponent of like, let's set goals for 5 years from now. Let's work on, hey, what can we accomplish this week? And having that on paper, that's a good place to start.
Well, I appreciate the idea because there are many of us that don't know where to start. And that's an excellent place to start, is on paper, so that it will help us clarify and maybe articulate those ideas.
Yeah.
I know sometimes just saying something will help me articulate it and, like, oh, wait a second. Of course, that's why I'm having these thoughts. I just wasn't very clear on where I was headed with them. But then
Right.
putting them on paper then lets me take a look at it maybe from one layer above, where I can
Right.
take a look at it and say, I do feel this way. Yes,
Yeah.
this is a problem that I'm working on.
Yeah.
So I know for myself, and I'm just speaking for myself, when I have an exercise and I sit down and I start writing things down, sometimes I feel frustrated. And so the levels of frustration come out on the paper. Is that okay? Or is there a particular way or tone that we should write the things down in?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And again, I'm a big proponent of like really expressing our actual feelings. So sometimes when we're in this, whatever you want to call it, personal development, new age world, we think a lot about maybe positive thinking or, not supposed to be negative, right? But the problem is we have those feelings, right? So I say write them down. I say get them out and talk about them on paper and not sugarcoat it, or don't be afraid of really expressing what you're actually feeling, because I think that's the overarching problem. If you look back to, say, childhood, a lot of us, maybe we didn't get to express our emotion. Maybe we didn't get to talk about how we really felt. So when we're dealing with emotional clutter, a lot of times it's unprocessed memories, thoughts, feelings that never got properly addressed. So now we want to get in the practice of it's okay to express them, right? The only caveat I would say to all of this, going back to what I was talking about with writing things down, what I notice people do is they pick up the phone or they meet up with a friend and they talk about everything that's going on in their lives. And I don't know if that's necessarily a problem, but sometimes if we're doing too much talking, we're reactivating a lot of this emotion and this feelings, right? So I find the paper to be better in terms of like that's interaction that you have with yourself and you're getting some of that information out. Sometimes the act of talking about something over and over again. So somebody might call 4 or 5 people about the same topic, and now they've actually activated more information through that process. And so they can actually be left in a place of more overwhelm
Mm.
as a result of that. So I don't recommend too much talking. Maybe sometimes you have to talk things out a little bit, but be mindful of like doing it more from therapeutic interaction with yourself through paper.
I love this. What a great conversation. And Gavin, I want to thank you for your time, for sharing with us an unusual concept for many of us that are feeling stuck and tripped up on whatever it is we've been trying for years that has not worked.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking if we can get in touch with you and we can start this process, I can see just an enormous way of cleaning up our lives, cleaning up relationships, getting back in touch with kids that we haven't spoken to in years, possibly resolving parental or mother-in-law, father-in-law issues. I'm thinking there's a whole host of things that are going to start to repair themselves as we start to clean up this clutter that's in our lives.
Absolutely. So happy to be here and I'm happy to have the conversation, really help people actually reach their goals in 2020.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I do appreciate your time and attention today. Please get in touch with Gavin if you find yourself needing a clearing and possibly just a chance to start over again. I think this is the year that defines us.
Awesome.